boosters as we settle in for some playoff football at AT&T Stadium. Ahead, we'll decide the second entrant to next week's NFC title game as we've got a great one in store between the Houston Oilers and the Dallas Cowboys. Who will punch the fourth and final ticket to the conference championship round? We'll know soon enough as we are underway here on a January afternoon. Now the first carry for Bryce Love, and he's upended at the 33 following a good pickup of 8.
A nice run here early on. It doesn't take a great play caller to realize you want to establish a guy of his caliber with runs like this early because they'll pay dividends as the game progresses.
8 yards the gain on that last run. Here's second and a couple. On second down, Love. And he is met quickly in the backfield. Down he goes, folded like a lawn chair. That backs him up 1 yard and brings up third down. Third play of this opening drive as they're looking at a 3rd and 3.
56 to Mike, boys. 56. Check 56.
Back to throw here. Throwing right, and that's complete. No catches for him in the wild card win last week, but he's got a first quarter grab here. So opening drive, 3rd down, they complete the slant to move the sticks.
And ordinarily, it's a high percentage pass when you throw it. And receivers like to run that route because it gets the ball in their hands pretty quickly. Just a couple of quick steps upfield, break towards the middle, and the ball should be there, and then they can do some work afterwards.
On first down, here's Love. And forget about finding a lane. He barely had time to look up before he was planted in the backfield. They'll wind up losing 4 yards on the play. And that's going to make it 2nd and 14. Here's a quick throw caught by Smith. No gain that time on the completion, and it'll be 3rd down.
Pass complete, but no gain.
No yards.
Yeah.
So you file that as unsuccessful.
Yeah, you do, don't you? Except on the stats, throwing the ball.
Get a completion.
You get a catch.
Yeah.
But still,
no yardage.
Okay.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Nowhere to go here. He lost the football.
On plays like this where the ball comes free, it's often unusual for the team that lost it to get it back. Because this is the quarterback. The ball gets away from him. Everyone else is trying to execute what they're supposed to do on offense. They're usually looking in the other direction, downfield, or have moved away from him. In this case, though, a teammate is able to come up with the ball.
Jones on the return. Well, he wasn't too far from breaking that. Officially, give him 15. And the Cowboys will take over the football with a 1st and 10. From the 32 now, here's 1st and 10.
Here we go. Here we go.
Working out of the gun, Mayfield. And caught by Henry. 5 yards on the catch there, brings up second down.
Brandon, perfect defense in this situation would have meant that there was an incompletion that would have picked it off. Okay, so they gave up the completion. But I really enjoyed watching how the defense stayed in sync, stayed in great communication. And as he dragged across each zone, you see him pointing, communicating. There he is, and they passed him off to each defender. Ended up making a nice play, even though it was complete.
And he'll get up near the 45. They'll spot it at the 44. That one, a first down pickup of 8.
And there we see an early burst that makes him one of the leading rushers in the league.
Well, I want you to know, I listened to you yesterday when we were watching film. You said write down the word vision for him. It was on display there, wasn't it?
It certainly was, because he allows the blocks to set up in front of him. And if that continues, it'll be a long afternoon for those guys trying to play some defense.
And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. Give them 15 there, and the Cowboys have a first.
And that's a run that'll energize an offensive line. They'll take that one all day long. Fundamental breakdown by the defense. You've got to be able to make plays on the edge.
So a 1st and 10 now in Houston territory at the 41. They'll try the left side. It's Miles. And he's got room. The 20. And he just falls short down at the 1-yard line. A big hitter. That one goes for 40 yards. You were telling me this yesterday. This is exactly what they want to do on the opening drive, establish the ground game.
Yeah, remember our conversation. We were talking about what one of the GMs in the league has told me repeatedly. It's a big man's game. It's not.
And he'll get in. Touchdown, Cowboys. Punching it in from a yard away as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. One of the keys to their long winning streak has been scoring first. An ideal drive right there, getting the first 6 points of the ball game.
Do you go back to our meeting with the offensive coordinator? Remember what he told us?
Absolutely.
With some teams, I script to probe in the early part of the game. Other teams, I script to attack. They've been in attack mode for these ball games and continue that in this one.
And not a bad return here. He gets it out to the 25-yard line. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. They trail here early in this division round game as they seek a spot in the NFC title bout. Being chased out left. Now he'll pull it down. Nothing open downfield. He keeps it himself for 11 and a first down.
Partner, he was going through his progressions. Not there, not there. After about the third one, he decided he better pull it down and run for it. And he slides down and avoids the hit for good measure.
They'll run on first down. It's Love. 7 yards on the pickup there, and it'll leave them with a 2nd and 3.
Despite the blitz, they're still able to pick up a nice, solid gain. The disadvantage of blitzing often alters the normal spacing and run fits and leaves creases like they were able to exploit right there.
After one, 7-0 on EA Sports.
Here we go. Watch that in. Watch that in.
2nd and 3. And now he'll tuck it and run. Maybe not exactly what they had in mind, but that scramble good for 6 and a first down.
Offensively, they liked their situation, so they tried to take a shot downfield, but no one was open. So it was tuck it and run time, and he picks up a first down.
Down. 50 on the base. Minus 56. Here we go. Here we go. One twist. One twist. One twist. One twist. One twist. 66. Half.
Back to throw now on first down. Quick hitter here, it's complete. And he'll lose yardage on the play back at the 45-yard line.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage, even though they completed the pass.
Good as a sack.
Yeah, how about that? Although they won't get the same credit for it, and it won't help them at contract time.
That's what I'm talking about.
Even though they gave up more than they wanted to on that play, it actually illustrates how well they bottled them up throughout the game because that was his longest run of this contest.
They'll set up to throw. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Montez Sweat picks up his second sack of the afternoon. And we say it all the time, have to be able to get rid of the ball sooner than that.
You have to help your offensive line out. They're going to protect you as best they can. And if you're getting 3 to 5 seconds to throw the ball, they're doing a really nice job. But when you hold it and give up a sack, you're really almost discrediting their work.
It'll be a net of only 30 here. 40-yard punt, 10 on the return. And the Cowboys will be backed up to start the drive. They'll have it 1st and 10. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And coming up on their second drive of the game, had the touchdown last time out. Now they have the football back. Chance to really seize early momentum.
Feels to me like they had a really excellent week of practice. It all came together. But I'll bet you it got galvanized in the locker room in pregame. Somehow I think the head coach, his oratorical skills were on point.
3 yards on that last carry. Here's 2nd and 7. To throw, Mayfield. Escaping the pressure right. And he's going to be taken down. Sacked back at the 2.
All right, let's go ahead and detail this situation here. 3rd and long coming up. Back near your own goal line. I would be very hesitant about throwing the football in this situation.
Maybe just run up the middle?
Yeah, I think that might be the spot for them. You've got to try and find some space for your punter because you don't want him backed up where he has to alter what he does.
After the sack, they'll come up now 3rd and long.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see them run the ball here just to try and get some space.
Now the Cowboys going to burn the first of their timeouts. They'll have 2 remaining as we step aside here in this second quarter. They'd like to avoid punting from their own end zone so they could use something here on 3rd down. And indeed, that's what they'll do as they run it here. And he's going to be taken down shy of the 5-yard line. Just a 1-yard gain on the play, and that'll mean a call to the punt team as it's 4th down.
We often talk of situational football. Let's just call it team football. The defense did their job, got off the field, brought the punting situation, so they're turning the ball back over to their offense. You think those guys will get along very well right now? Of course they will. Defense helped the offense. Now it's their turn to take it downfield.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They've had it twice. They punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for.
Not at all, and let's face it, every facility we visit, everyone talks about converting on 3rd down, how big that is. In this situation, they've had to punt it away twice, so they're furiously going over things on the sidelines. What do we need to do to pick up a 1st down and change our momentum?
The last run good for 2. Here's 2nd and 8. Here's 2nd and 8. And he fires one that's intercepted. Picked off right around the 43. And he'll return this one just shy of midfield to the 49.
And that's a great example of ball skills right there, partner. You and I do a lot of games, and I can't tell you how many guys look to run with the football before they've intercepted it. So that's a nice job of focusing on the task at hand and coming away with the interception.
And he's able to get this one down to the 40-yard line. 11 yards and a Cowboy 1st down. We've seen him break off a big run already in this game, and for a second, that one looked like it might be another.
Yeah, I think that any defense would say, look, we can't let him get to the 2nd level because sometimes he'll break off the big run on his own, but oftentimes you get additional blocking at the 2nd level, which gets you deeper into the secondary.
Play fake. Mayfield. Complete. It's Henry. Give him 15 there, and the Cowboys have a 1st. Right after the turnover, they come out throwing.
And that means it's a sudden change situation. We used to practice it on defense. Sudden change, get out there, stop the offense. But you typically run out there a little bit unsettled. I think that's why he came right out throwing the football, hoping to catch him off balance.
And he did. And now a throw here secured by his running back out of the backfield. And down inside the 15, shy of the 10. 13 yards and a 1st down, Cowboys.
Good route, good pickup for first down yardage, and that is a tough one to cover, the angle route, because the running back getting out of the...
And he fumbled it. It's on the ground. And the defense will get their hands on it, going the other way. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. Now the question, what do you do here? Time, not really an issue. You got over a minute, but you figure from this spot you'd need a good 50, 60 yards to even consider a field goal try.
Yeah, so there's optimism there, but there's also a little bit of restraint, right? You got to make sure you don't take a sack here. Don't end up in the end zone. Ball gets stripped. You could give up 2 points in that occasion, or maybe even 6 if you can't get on it and recover it yourself. So make sure you protect the guy throwing the football if indeed that's the plan of attack.
Now flags will come in. I think this one's going to be on the defense for jumping. A free 5 yards as the defense jumps.
I know it's an anticipation game for them, but it's also a reaction game, and they reacted poorly on that one.
And now whistles and a flag, and I think we got a jump here. It's a 5-yard pickup, so essentially they get the penalty yardage back, and it's back to 2nd and 10. Now a give running right is Love. This will be a short gain of 3 before he's brought down at the 22. A gain of 3, 2nd down. On 2nd down now, it's Love. And he'll just keep 2 hands on the football as he'll be taken down after a short pickup.
I do know from experience that when you slow down someone's running game, you're now doing the dictating on defense. And guess what? Now you're getting ready to tee off on their quarterback because they have to throw it all the time. But you still have to be alert for the draws and other plays of that nature to make sure you don't get hurt.
Once again, they'll keep it on the ground. And they will bottle him up behind the line, and now will they use a timeout? The Cowboys signal for their 3rd and final timeout as the clock will stop with 20 seconds to go in the first half. This is away and a very good kick angled for the sidelines. And the punt over the side in the air, and the spot will be inside the 35. The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. And with time quickly fading here in the 2nd quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
Now the first play of the drive there is incomplete.
Intended for Paris Campbell. Incomplete. It's now 2nd and 10.
Here's 2nd and 10 now from about the 32.
Push him back.
Not wanting to take a chance this time, they'll keep it on the ground. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. So we've come upon halftime here in this NFC divisional round matchup as we send you on over to Orlando for Jonathan Coachman in our EA Sports halftime report. Take it away, Coach. A trip to the NFC title game hanging in the balance. 2nd half action back underway. This is taken about 7 yards deep. And he'll make it across the 20 as his guys will set up shop at the 23-yard line. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. They have the lead. Now they'll be looking to extend that lead.
And this is where I enjoy talking about one of my favorite subjects, tendency breakers, or counters as I also like to call them. You've done things in a certain way in the first half, and they've had the ability to see what you've done. They're going to make their adjustments. So guess what? you adjust yourself and try and stay ahead of the pace because you are looking for some separation in this ball game.
The adjustment to the adjustment.
Without a doubt. Show them one thing, hit them with something else.
So now 2nd and 10 after the incompletion on first down.
Go, go, go. Regular. Hey, Charlie. It's a party now. It's a party now.
Throwing, Mayfield. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down.
We are seeing two really confident defenses imposing their will on these offenses in this game.
Yeah, absolutely, going toe for toe. Just curious if one of these offenses can wake up a little bit.
If there's any way they can find something that can pop, something big to knock them back on their heels.
And some secondary help here for the defense in the nickel on 3rd and long. They'll run it now out of the gun. And a good tackle there right around the 30. Stops him short of the first down. It'll be a pickup of 13, but it'll still lead to a 4th down. Now here's a whistle and a timeout. It's called by the receiving team here. It's just their first, so 2 remaining as they burn one here in this 3rd quarter.
We play to win. Let's go.
The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. These guys had to punt last time. It has not been a very fruitful game offensively thus far. They haven't even made a trip to the red zone.
And I know that everyone's going crazy on that sideline because that drives you berserk to come off the field, not really move the ball well. As you said, not even get to the red zone, let alone, not even put points on the board. They've got to just take a deep breath, relax, try and figure out what is working, and call more of that.
Staying on the ground, it's Love. Well, still about 3 yards shy of a first as the 4-yard pickup brings it to 3rd down.
Well, if you're a football guy, that's a pretty run because everyone is in sync right there. Obviously, the guy carrying the ball, but how about the people up front? Leverage, athleticism, they created some nice space for him.
On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And that is incomplete. Oh, he had a defender right there with him to force that to the ground. And 4th down now coming up. Trying to get their tight end involved finally. That's the first time that they've looked his way. He's kind of been a forgotten man in this offensive scheme.
Yeah, it didn't look his way at all in the first half. And I'll bet you the offense coordinator made a note at the half and said, let's get him involved because he could be a big-time playmaker for us.
At their own 15-yard line.
The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. This crew had to punt last time they had the ball, but when you've got a lead like this, you content to play the field position game?
You are to an extent, especially if you like your defense, because you have the lead, you've been controlling the game. But why put them in a tougher spot? You want to get out there and get something done on offense and maybe take command of this game yourself.
Real. Smooth.
Mayfield on play action. They'll roll him out right. Now he'll let it go deep right side. It's caught inside the 25. And he'll take it into the end zone for a Cowboy touchdown. Paris Campbell, 85 yards. And the Cowboys, they push out in front further. Still plenty of time left in the game, but now starting to pull away a little bit, get some breathing room with that one.
And I don't want people to think that NFL locker rooms are cookie cutter, that everyone's saying the exact same thing in every situation. But I do know that all 32 teams have an emphasis on starting fast. Game, second half, no matter what. Whether it's first 5 minutes, first 3, whatever. This was a big score to start the second half.
And he's going to wind up bringing this one inside the 45-yard line.
It's the 3rd quarter, and they're down on the scoreboard. And while no one wants to hit the panic button just yet, points are a necessity on this drive. What a great way to get set up.
I got you. 56 to Mike, boy. 56. Check 56.
They'll come out throwing here to start the drive. And the tip there altered the ball flight, and it falls incomplete. It'll be second down.
It's always a battle. Who's going to win on first down, the offense or the defense? Let's face it, if you've got the ball, 4 yards or more on first down is what you're aiming for. They tried to throw for it there. Nice effort to knock that one away and bring up second down.
Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Montez Sweat getting him once again his 3rd sack of the afternoon.
Okay, you know my bias is about to come out here. A lot of people think that the offense is just moving in the wrong direction. I'd say they're moving in the right direction because the defense is pushing them back.
Former defensive guy. Now, as a quarterback, 3rd and long, you really got to rally the troops here, don't you?
Yeah, you do in a big way. And what else do you have to look out for? More pressure coming at you because it seems to be working pretty well.
Looking to throw. He's going to let this go for the end zone. He dropped it. Couldn't hang on in the end zone. So no 6 points, incomplete. We saw this a lot in the first half, and it continues. These receivers just not able to get much separation.
So that means they have to win the 50-50 balls. They've got to go up with the defender and find a way to start coming down with them.
And this time, contact and another incomplete pass. It's a 41-yard punt, but just a net of 31 following the run back. And the offense will come back out deep in their own territory. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. And last time the formula was pretty simple. 1-play drive, long pass. That maybe they just want to do that again, right?
And that's exactly how you want to draw things up. Whether it's on your grease board, right, in your playbook, 1-play drive's exactly what you want on offense. What they have to be careful of is not having a letdown. It was fairly easy last time. They can't expect that going forward.
Yeah, we'll see if it's that easy here. Throwing on 2nd down. Mayfield flush to his right. And he goes down. It's a sack. They get him back at his own 3-yard line. Trey Hendrickson. Credit him with a sack as he buries him for a loss of 10. Facing the prospect of a punt from their own end zone, they need some cushion. Let's see what they can do on 3rd down. They'll run it now out of the gun. And he won't be close to a first down as he runs into a wall right around the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there. A nice job defensively. And it likely forces a punt situation on 4th. And he's able to get it out quickly, and this is not a bad kick here. Taking a couple yards shy of midfield. That'll go as a punt of 42, 7 on the return. And this offense, they're going to have excellent field position. They take over with a 1st and 10 on the short side of the field.
Let's pick it up. It's out of time, guys. Out of time. Let's get off the field. Let's get off the field. 6, Mike, 56.
They'll come out throwing here on 1st down. He's going to sling this deep downfield. And that is incomplete. Showed off the arm strength there, but to no avail. 2nd down. It's been this way most of the afternoon, hasn't it? This secondary, they really put this receiving core on lockdown.
Listen, they've worked together like a basketball team that's playing excellent defense. Great communication, doesn't matter whether it's man or zone. And especially against deep balls, as we saw there, they're not giving up anything to them.
And he's going to get this one down to the edge of the red zone. A 1st down there on a pickup of 25.
That outside handoff to the left, that play has to warm the heart of an offensive line coach because they controlled the left side where they were supposed to, but they didn't allow anything to leak from the backside on the right side of the offensive line either. Well played.
Yeah, and it created a big run. And he'll take it down here just shy of the 15 at the 16-yard line. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down. 2nd and 6. And got his man. It's caught. Touchdown, Houston. Traquan Smith there to make the grab as his guys are back within a single score. Lutz good on the extra point, and that'll make our score 14-7. After the touchdown, Lutz to kick it off. And a fair catch signaled for and taken successfully.
The Cowboys take over 1st and 10 at their own 25-yard line.
The Dallas offense here set to begin the drive. Certainly want to avoid what they had to do last possession. That was punt the football, because this game's starting to tighten up.
In a basketball sense, you'd think about taking a little bit of the air out of the ball, right? Maybe milk some clock, limit the possessions. In this case, they might want to do the same thing, but control the game offensively. Put together some first downs, put together a drive, and keep it away from them.
Hey, alert, 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 alert! Check. Mike 9.
On 2nd and 11 now. Mayfield. Flushed out right. And that'll be incomplete.
Mayfield on the keeper. To the sideline and incomplete. Brings up 3rd down and 11.
And this should be the final play before the quarter ends.
Good track, good track. Rush in.
On 3rd down, Miles. And they're able to get this one across the 35. 1 quarter remains for a trip to the NFC title game. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. So here's a 1st and 10 at the 38. From the shotgun, it's Mayfield. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Trey Hendrickson able to get in there for his 2nd sack of the afternoon.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
He's king. Pistol. Hey, dude. Let's go.
To try again after the sack. Mayfield. Now Mayfield lost the football. So it goes as a fumble, but the key thing, not a fumble loss.
Yeah, that stat's big, isn't it? I mean, I remember watching teams play. The ball might be on the ground a number of times during the game, but if the other team doesn't get it, that's a huge difference in the ball game. And in this case, they were able to retain possession.
Mike 9. Hey, here we go. Mike 9.
3rd and long for Mayfield. Got his man complete over the middle. That's Miles. And he gets this only to the 41. Not near enough for the 1st. It'll be a gain of 9, and that'll bring up 4th down. Out now comes the Cowboys punter. He's been terrific so far. And the kick's away as he angles this one for the sideline. And they'll play keep away from the returner as this one will be marked out of bounds at the 13-yard line. Pretty good spot. The offense now at the line, ready for their next drive. And for them, a touchdown their last go-around. Obviously, they'll be hoping to do that again.
And when you start plotting for this drive, when you start thinking to yourself, okay, what are we going to do? You don't go away from what you did before because that worked, but you have to be prepared for wrinkles and counters because you know they'll make some adjustments.
Here's Love again. And he takes us across the 15 to the 17. Call it a gain of 4, and it'll leave them with a 3rd down and 6 to go.
On any running play that's called, they're always hoping that it's going to break big and go the distance. But when you get a nice game like that, you're able to do so many things anyway. You can come back and run essentially the same play again, continue to move the ball on the ground, or you can decide to throw the ball now because usually you have the defense back on its heels.
And a big loss here as he's taken down. Montez Sweat. Who else? He's in there for his 4th sack of the afternoon.
Well, if an offense is going to throw the ball on this part of the field, any pass rusher will tell you that's his favorite part. gets a chance to get after the quarterback, it's almost like a reverse red zone. They can create points using their defense, and this time they take their man down.
So this punt sails out of bounds across midfield. Now the question, they're going to spot it right at the 40, the 40-yard line. About set for this next drive by the Cowboys offense. Right now clinging to a one-score lead, Charles, and I think operating within that 4-minute offense with a little less than 4 minutes to go applies here, right?
It certainly does, and that means the playbook is still wide open. But you are a little bit more careful about what you're calling. You want plays that are going to gain yardage, how would you say it, consistently, right? You don't need the big shots downfield, but make sure the clock continues to run. Pile up the first downs, and the goal, end the game with your quarterback kneeling down at the end, and you still have the lead.
Well, the second down throw on target. 2 catches now in this divisional round matchup. That one, a first down.
Another nice pickup through the air, and I think a lot of people might expect him to run the ball in this situation, Brandon, but with this lead, they're electing to throw the football. Swings, slants, quick outs, things that they consider safe.
On first down, it's Miles. Credit him with a 1-yard gain there to make it 2nd and 9. Well, with the fumble he had earlier, we know how key keeping the football is here. That fumble earlier probably at the forefront of his mind. Just hold on to this thing.
It's also at the forefront of the mind of the guys who are trying to get the ball from him. And since they've seen him drop it on the ground before, they're doing everything possible to have him do it again. They need that turnover.
So the Cowboys in possession of the football here as we get you reset. They've got a second down now as they search for a way to get this one to the finish line. And he'll get this down only to about the 46. They follow up the first down 1-yard run with a minimal gain of 2. After that run, still a good amount of meat on the bone here for this third down play. Can you envision them putting this in the air?
Totally. I mean, look at who he has under center right now. If you can't trust him with the football, you can't trust anyone. And frankly, to me, I want the ball down the stretch. Get the first down, keep it in the hands of my offense. I don't want to turn it over to them and rely on my D.
Now a second timeout called for by the defense, as they'll get it with just under 90 seconds remaining. Out now comes the Cowboys punter, as he's on for the 5th time here today. And he deserves a bronze leg as he gets this one away. And this will be out of bounds at the what here? The 12-yard line. The offense back out there at the line, ready for their next drive. They're down here in a 1-score game, but the time, it's a factor, but it's not a huge factor right now, is it?
It's really not, because this amount of time gives them a chance to run their offense, to go through play sequences. And this is what they work on every week in practice, usually on a Friday. They go over this type of a situation, late game situation. What are we going to do when we have the opportunity? They've called these plays a bunch of times. Now's their chance to...
And he can't get a throw off. He's taken down. What a huge play at this point in the game. Samson Abuka in there to take him down, and the clock will roll.
3rd and 12.
Let's get off the field, D. Let's get off the field, D.
They'll look to throw. And he can't get a throw away. He's taken down.
And this offense needs a touchdown. A field goal won't get it done in this situation. But after giving up back-to-back sacks, things are looking a little bit bleak.
Game on the line, season on the line. They're going for it here on 4th down.
Hey, check Mike 15. Mike is a 15. Check Mike 15. Hey, check. Mike 50, Mike 50. Hey, watch the ball. Watch it. Check.
Back to throw. And that is incomplete. 2 seconds left on the clock. They had to go for it with such little time remaining, and as a result, their playoff run may end right here. So this one fairly well in the bag as they take over with a 1st and goal. They'll try to run this one in. And he'll be brought down somewhat awkwardly here, and a late flag as well. I think this one's going to be a face mask. Trailing in the fourth, this close of a game, that's a penalty you just can't afford.
It's an absolute killer, and it's one that drives coaches and teammates insane.
So now then, the penalty's got him set up with a first and goal. They'll try to run this one in. And maybe a measure of revenge there. He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line. Well, one side moves on, and then, of course,